Hello. Well, as more and more businesses begin to restart following the coronavirus lockdown, it's time to talk to another key player in Britain's manufacturing sector about their plans and about how they see the state of British manufacturing now and indeed moving forward. And this week we're joined by Chris Greenough, who is the Chief Commercial Officer at SDE Technology. Good to talk to you, Chris. Thank you very much indeed for joining us. So first of all, tell us a little bit about SDE Technology.
Good morning, Richard. Hope you're keeping safe and well. So SDE Technology is a long-established, family-run, privately owned business based in Shrewsbury. You may know us as Salop Design and Engineering, and then last year we went through a rebrand to become SDE Technology to show how we are changing with innovation and invention.
So that was going to be my next question, not just so much about the change in name, but how the company has changed and developed over the years.
So I've been here now, I think this is my 26th year, so I've seen lots of changes within the industry and certainly within our company. So we went through the recession in 2008 and then rebuilt the company from that point. So in 2012, we put the first of two bespoke powder coating lines in. We now do not just press work, but press work hot and cold form, fabrications, powder coating, haulage. So really a wide breadth product that's going through the press shop.
So 26 years. Let's look at how the industry has really changed during that period, because that is it's a considerable period, if you don't mind me saying. So that's a great history you've got in the industry. When you look at it, how your particular industry is now, could you ever have imagined that, do you think, 26 years ago?
Well, no, I left school and I didn't really know what I wanted to do. And I came into manufacturing, and it's such a fantastic career and a fantastic opportunity. If you're enthusiastic and you're willing to learn, manufacturing and engineering has a multitude of jobs that you can get involved with. It's really exciting.
So that's interesting, actually, because I wanted to look at the image of manufacturing. You say you went into it straight from school. Is there still a problem, do you think, attracting people into the industry?
Well, I definitely think so. I think the industry needs to move with the times, and I think the industry is actually moving with the times, but I don't think that message is getting into the education system. That manufacturing now, if you look at additive manufacturing, you look at Industry 4.0, you look at the fantastic product and processes that are involved in our sector. But if the manufacturing they're teaching in schools doesn't seem to reflect that at all. They still think as factories as the place that you go when you're failing at school. And what we need to be teaching people is we're looking for the next high flyers, the next real thinkers. And there's great opportunities. And I think there's a big disconnect between what is taught in school and what is actually happening in the manufacturing sector.
So what's your message? What would you say to people then to tell them that manufacturing is an industry or is a career that they should pursue?
Well, we're really looking for people who are excelling at school and want to work hard, because they're the people who will excel in not just our business, but in the manufacturing sector. And there are some fantastic things going on now. Industry 4.0, connectivity, the way that our business is moving rapidly, we need people who can also move rapidly and keep up with the pace. So if you're interested in engineering, robotics, anything to do with technology, manufacturing is a career choice for the future.
Do you think it's more the message then that's the problem rather than the product being manufacturing industry?
I think it is. I think it's the message that's given to youngsters now, where they are pushed into either university or further education, where they can be looking at a different route, which is vocational training, and ending up with a career path that can give them 26 years working in an industry that's great.
So are apprenticeships still, if you like, looked on as the poor relation to university, not by manufacturing, but if you like, by society?
By society and by education. So certainly not by manufacturers. So we actively support and encourage apprenticeships. We work with some fantastic training companies, and that is really the best way. So yes, we need graduates coming in at a certain level, but the best way for us to get someone into our business is an apprenticeship where they get to know us, we get to know them, they get on-the-job training, and they can end up with a degree.
Right, let's move on if we can. That's brilliant. Let's talk about your company. Let's talk about the industry. If you haven't been on the moon, you'll know that we're coming out of the post-COVID-19 lockdown. What sort of measures have you had to put in place to ensure that the company can get working again?
So obviously, being a press shop, we have people who work next to each other on presses. So from day one, when the lockdown happened, we put in one-way system floor and in our canteen area. We also do temperature checks. On the shop floor now, we have got masks, which are mandatory. So we're making sure that our top priority is the safety of our staff.
Do you think post-COVID there could actually be new opportunities? I mean, we've seen some companies during the pandemic switch their production methods, switch their actual items that they produce to take advantage of new markets. Do you think as we emerge from it, there could be new opportunities?
I think there are. I mean, we look to getting involved in creating PPE, but the majority of our product is metal, so we struggle to get involved. We did offer our services to people like JCB and OEMs and said we're here to help. We had capacity and we still have capacity. But I think certainly as SDE, as I said, we rebranded last year. We've now got a new license for a hot form aluminium process, HFQ. We're the first in Europe with that license. So we are having to change very quickly. So we are also looking at product that we could be making on our existing machines that could be sold over the internet, that could be sold to people direct. There's lots of people now who've been at home who are online shopping, and SDE and other manufacturers need to think how the market is going to change and how we need to change to keep up with that market.
Let's talk a little bit about investment. As we come out of the lockdown period, let's be honest, money is going to be tight. Is it going to be possible for companies to be able to make investments?
I think the very brave will make investments. It's going to be, let's be honest, it's going to be really tough for a lot of companies. And a lot of companies are just battening down the hatches to weather this storm. And this storm, this dip in production, is not just for the next 1-2 months. This is a long term before we see anything moving back to normality. But I think there are opportunities, but companies need to be very flexible, very proactive, and look for the opportunities to see where they are. I think the one strength with SMEs in the UK is we are very resilient and we are very flexible, and we always make the best of a bad situation.
So can you at the moment put any sort of time scale on a recovery? We're summer 2020. Looking forward, can you look forward 6 months, 12 months, 3 years? How do you see it going?
Looking at the automotive sector, a lot of OEMs have returned to production, but I think they've returned and they'll need to see how their market is. Are people going to buy cars? I hope they do to kickstart the economy, but I think it's at least 6-12 months away. And a return to full production for every company who's been affected with the COVID-19 outbreak, I think, is 1-2 years away. So we need to be in it for the long haul, and we need support from central and local government to make sure lots of manufacturing companies survive. So
government's still got a big part to play in the recovery going forward. It's not just about industry on its own.
No, it's not. And if you look from the Brexit vote in 2016, in 2017, the government came out with their industrial strategy, the 10 pillars. And since then, because of Brexit and COVID, we've heard very little of it. So I'd urge the government now to kickstart that industrial strategy, get businesses from big business and SMEs involved. We will tell you the support we need, and let's kickstart the economy.
So go on then, pretend I'm Rishi Sunak, the Chancellor. Give me your message. You tell me what I can do for you.
Well, what we need to look at is support for companies now who are willing to invest. So whether that be the R&D tax credits or whether it just be finance in place and the banks supporting that finance. But we need to kickstart the economy, and the only way to do that is with a manufacturing sector that can innovate and invent and look for new processes, new products. We need to reshore, so we need to look at any product that is bought abroad. We also need the UK households to get behind UK manufacturing. So when they're buying a product, they need to look at where it was made, how many jobs it's supporting in this country, and what more can we do to support UK manufacturing.
Yeah, that's going to be key, isn't it? There's also the confidence is going to have to be a huge part of things. I mean, one of the things I've been hearing about whether in some ways the government has got its message across too well to lock down, to don't go out, to don't visit shops, and now whether people are actually brave enough to go out and start spending their money again.
Well, I think it's a very fine line. We need to make sure that the current restrictions stay in place, because paramount is the safety of our workers and the safety of the UK people. So, yes, we need to release and we need to get back to normality, but there's lots of ways that the UK household can now be shopping. A lot of that is online. When we go out, we need to be safe. But there needs to be more confidence from the UK government, and only with an industrial strategy that we can bank on will we invest. Why would we invest now when we don't know what restrictions are going to come into place? So we need a clear strategy from government of how they're going to support, and then households will support after that.
The government, of course, is putting huge amounts of money into the economy at the moment through various schemes. Do you think that money could perhaps, looking forward, be slightly redirected to be of more use to industry?
Well, again, it's very hard because the current furlough scheme has had to be put in place to protect the income of workers who are currently not able to work. But I think there's got to be lots of investment in Industry 4.0, connectivity. They need to look at the bigger projects. HS2 will create jobs. Whether it will give the benefits that everyone sees, I don't know. But there has to be investment in big projects to kickstart the economy. It's the only way the government can do it.
Okay, let's talk about another area, if you're okay, Chris. Talk to me a little bit about FactoryNOW. Tell us about your involvement.
Well, I became involved in FactoryNOW over the last couple of months. I've been following it with Jefferson and MTD, and I think it's exactly what the manufacturing sector needs. We are certainly from early March, when COVID started to hit and the restrictions were in place. Manufacturing needs a platform, it needs a voice, it needs somewhere where we can connect, put content out there. So it's not just about reconnecting manufacturers, it's about showing that manufacturing is still alive and kicking in the UK. But also that sort of video content, that's the video content that should be going into schools and education to show what manufacturing is. It's outdated, the message that has been given in schools. FactoryNOW is a fantastic portal with MTD backing it that can put out video content to inspire the next generation. So I'm happy to be involved, and I want to get more involved.
One last question, if I might, Chris. We've been very realistic about what the future holds for manufacturing about the country during this conversation. Let's be optimistic. What would be your hopes moving forward, both for SDE and indeed for the country's manufacturing sector as a whole?
Yeah, as you say, I mean, we've talked, and I've been quite realistic. There's tough times ahead, but people who know me know I am positive about UK manufacturing, and I think we need to maintain that positivity. I'm hoping that over the next few months, we see a lot of people looking to buy British. I'm hoping we see companies in this country looking for local supply chains. SDE wants to be part of those supply chains, as do all UK manufacturers. I think we've got a chance now to turn the tide. I think we need an industrial strategy that backs that. And I think we need to really focus on UK manufacturing to make sure our economy restarts with a kick. It's the only way we can do it. We have to be making our own product, selling our own product. That's the only way we can get this economy back on its feet.
So just tell us then, I said one last question, here's one other last question. Just tell us then about the products that you're going to be putting out there then over the next 12 months to try and play your part, if you like, in getting the country back on its feet.
Well, it's very early days. We've got some product we're designing now, and we're looking to market. I can't give you too much information about those, but we are also looking at other sectors, other markets, other products. Where can we invest now to get ahead of the competition, to get ahead of the game, get ahead of the market? Because we know we cannot stand still. Part of our investment in the hot form aluminium, in the license agreement for that's the coming next 1-2 years. We cannot stand still. We never have done at SDE. In the last recession, we were investing in new technologies, the powder coating line in 2012. Anyone who stands still now will be left behind. UK manufacturing, SMEs in this country really have fantastic ethics, and they want to invest, they want to get the economy going. So yeah, as soon as I've got more detail, I'll come back and I'll share it with you.
It's a date. Chris, thank you very much indeed for talking to us. It's been really, really interesting. That's Chris Greenough, the Chief Commercial Officer at SDE Technology. Thanks once again. That's it for this week. We'll be back with another key player from the UK manufacturing sector next week. Have a good week. Bye-bye now.